Imagine a summer in which Everton not only makes a strong entrance into the transfer market, but also challenges the European giants for top players. Can you imagine? Well, the transfer window hasn't even officially opened, and there's already a lot of activity at Finch Farm, with well-known names, unexpected returns, and even a direct dispute with Premier League rivals for talents that could change the status of our squad. And in the midst of all this, there's a story unfolding behind the scenes that could make this summer the most ambitious in the club's history. And that's no exaggeration. Are there reinforcements coming? Yes. But there's also a fierce dispute for names that are on the radar of Tottenham, Liverpool, and other giants. And of course, the future of some key players is also being decided at this very moment. Now, will Everton be able to compete with these clubs? And what are the new owners really planning for this new era? Stay with me until the end, because there's a lot of good stuff coming. Take advantage and support us now. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell, because here you can follow every step of our Everton in a way that you can only find here. Let's get started. All right, Blue fans, get ready because there's a big bombshell coming. Get ready because the action at Finch Farm has already started to heat up, and the atmosphere promises to be heated in this summer that has everything to be historic for our Everton. And look, the first card may have already been played, but can you guess who could be returning to the Premier League straight to our defense? Hold on tight. The truth is that David Moyes, who arrived and put the house in order, is already thinking big. After pocketing $140 million with the 13th place in the Premier League, the Toffees have money in the coffers and sky-high ambitions, and the new owners, the Friedkin Group, are not messing around. They want an immediate impact, and they know that the Blue fans want to see a competitive team in the new Bramley Moore Dock era, and that's where he comes in, Davinson Sanchez. That's right, the former Tottenham defender who has been making waves in Turkey, playing for Galatasaray. According to the Turkish press, Everton have already closed a great deal for the Colombian. And if that is confirmed, my friend, Moyes will be laughing out loud. Sanchez's name has been around Goodison Park for a while now. Even Sean Dyche has tried to sign him before. The guy has 7 seasons in the Premier League under his belt, plenty of speed and a physical presence that commands respect. At 28 years old, he could be just the missing piece to finally protect this defense that suffered more than it should have last season. And hold on to this, the deal could go for a real bargain, something around $8 million. In an inflated market, a player with this resume and still with the energy to perform well is practically a gift. Will he really come? Keep an eye out. Now, speaking of defense, there is another hot name on the Blue radar, Coney de Winter. The 22-year-old Belgian defender, a standout for Genoa in Serie A, has already caught the eye of Tottenham Hotspur, no less. Spurs, recently crowned Europa League champions, have opened their coffers and made an offer of $20 million. But can the Friedkins' sporting project, with Moyes at the helm, convince the youngster to wear blue instead of white? It's worth remembering that, although we have a solid duo with Tarkowski and Branthwaite, the history of injuries screams for reinforcements. And De Winter, despite his young age, has already shown personality and even scored 3 goals in the Italian Championship. And look how curious it is. He idolizes none other than Romelu Lukaku, a name that needs no introduction for us Everton fans. Coincidence? Maybe. But it would be symbolic to have someone with that kind of reference coming here. Oh, that would be amazing. And speaking of Branthwaite, you can breathe a little easier, fans. The latest reports indicate that despite strong interest from giants such as Manchester United, Chelsea, and even Manchester City, Everton are confident of keeping the young defender. The price? He will only be $70 million. But why does this matter so much? Simple. Branthwaite is more than just a good player. He is a symbol of the new phase. A youngster who has won more aerial duels than any other Premier League defender in a single match this season. A defender who Doucouré has already called a top player. And in a historic change of stadium, the message has to be clear. The pillars of the future will remain. And it doesn't stop there. Want to know how Everton are really thinking big? Just take a look at the name they have put forward as an attacking target. Hugo Ekitike, Eintracht Frankfurt striker. The 22-year-old Frenchman, who has already shown in the Bundesliga and caused trouble for Tottenham in the Europa League, is being targeted by none other than Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, United, and Newcastle. And who else? Everton. That's right, the Friedkins want to make a splash. Ekitike could be expensive, but the club knows that. Without Calvert-Lewin on a new contract and with Broja on his way out, it's time to invest heavily in the front line. And what better way to show ambition than to compete for one of Europe's most promising forwards with the continent's greatest? That's the message from the Blue Summer: ambition, investment, and eyes on the future. With Moyes in charge and the Friedkins putting money on the table, Everton is far from being a supporting player in this window. Now tell me, fan, are you ready for what's coming? Because if all this comes to fruition, this could be the season that marks the definitive turning point. So now you know, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because if there's any hot news about Everton, this is where you'll find out first. Let's join us in this new era.